Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Name the dog, Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in paints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, is my looks like a man, but is actually filled with milk friend Frank. How are you?
Oh wow, I'm good. I'm good. I'm feeling milky and
Milky white
and creamy. And
you know my reference?
Nope.
Okay. I will explain to you as this episode goes.
All right. Well, I'm drinking a milk stout. No, I'm not.
I wish you
I
were.
wish I was.
I'm just drinking some warm milk. Ovaltine. No. Thank you. So, Young Frankenstein.
Oh. Yeah.
Some warm milk? No.
No.
Thank you. Ovaltine. Good night, Frau Blucher.
We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about your beer.
We are. I am drinking a UFO White.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. The tall white can.
Yeah, it crash landed in the field right outside your house.
That's so weird.
And for some reason, the government didn't come to collect it, so now I'm drinking it.
It didn't burst out of your chest or anything, did it?
No, it did not.
Okay,
no,
good,
no,
good. That would be unsanitary and unhealthy at best.
Yeah, at best.
At best.
Unhealthy at best.
Unhealthy at best. The
Yeah.
harpoon way. Very nice. UFO White. Yeah, I'm enjoying the UFO Grapefruit over here. So it's UFO City.
UFO City. You know what is do you know what a UFO is?
It's an UFO.
It's a unidentified flying object. Yes?
I believe that's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Much like a spacecraft flying through space, Frank.
All right. You got my attention. I like sci-fi.
Okay, so Frank, we haven't done this in a while.
Oh.
But I think it's time that I hit you with my best shot.
Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot?
You know what I'm going to hit you with my best shot with, Frank?
Is it something pointy?
It is got a pointy thing on it, I guess.
Okay. Is it deadly? Does it want to kill me?
Yeah, definitely does.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an alien.
Oh, okay. What kind of alien?
The alien. It's a xenomorph. Frank, you, sci-fi fan, have never seen Alien.
I have never seen anything from the Alien franchise.
That is insane to me.
It's something that I never was like raised with or brought up with, and then I've never gotten around with it. Now I will say it's literally I think the number one thing, at least for a long time, was the number one thing in my Plex server, because like alphabetically it's like, A. So but I am ashamed to say that I have never had the pleasure of watching any of the Alien. So the first one, I set the record straight for me here. First one is Alien. Second one is Aliens.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. The third and fourth you can ignore.
So I hear.
To be honest. Well, what's interesting about Alien, apart from the first film, which we're really just going to talk about the first film today.
Okay, yeah.
But they've changed the genre within. They changed the genre kind of within the film. So, like, the first one is a Ridley Scott film, and it's a horror film, and then the second one's really like it's an action film with like some horror elements, but it's really an action film, and it kind of keeps moving in that trend. But it kind of keeps moving in that trend where it flits back and forth. I mean, you never get like alien romance movie or anything like that.
Sure.
But like it worked and evolved because it keeps going in a slightly different direction. So like Prometheus, which you can kind of count as an alien film, even though people don't want to, for the reasons
Okay.
that they have. Like it's more like heady, like cerebral sci-fi, and then and they kind of just it keeps evolving like the xenomorph. Which is really interesting. But I want to talk about the first one because the first one's my favorite out of all the Aliens. I watched it when I was a little kid with my brother. Probably shouldn't have, and it kind of just stuck with me. Much like an alien gestating inside one's stomach. So, what do you think the story of Alien is?
Oh, I have no earthly idea.
Because you have
Sigourney
sort of.
Weaver, doing stuff, and then an alien pops out of somebody's chest, and she Sarah Connors him. I have no idea. Like, I have no idea what the plot is whatsoever.
That's not. It's not incredibly far off.
Okay.
So basically, the ship Nostromo is coming back from. They're basically blue collar workers in space.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's this whole ship of Captain Dallas and Ripley and all these different people.
Believe it or not.
Yeah. No. Well, he does believe it. Let me tell
See,
you.
look, Alien right there. My Plex server. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the first icon on the second row of my Plex server. It is.
What does that mean?
Plex is it's my library of all my digital movies that I have on a computer under my TV, and I can watch this streaming to my TV or to like my phone or whatever. I can download stuff from my server onto my phone.
You got some good movies right in this first couple.
Yeah, a lot of these I haven't seen. A bunch of them I have, but these are just like movies that I own digitally, and I've thrown them here in this server to watch. These are things that I like used to own on DVD, and I ripped. And like it's kind of like an iTunes library. Like you have all your CDs.
Yeah.
But you have all your movies.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Anyway, it's the first thing in the second row of my.
Yeah, so
Plex.
you have the ability to watch it.
I have it right there.
Now, are you a fan of? Do you like space?
I sure as hell do.
Yeah, you do love space. I know you do. I am afraid of space. But I'm more afraid of the ocean. So if I had the choice between going to space and living in the ocean, I would choose space. That's how much I'm afraid of the ocean.
I am afraid of drowning in the ocean. Yeah, that's like the worst way I could think of dying, other than like burning to death.
It's not even that. We know more scientifically about space than we do about the ocean. That's terrifying.
I think we do, but I think we're probably wrong about that. I think we think we know more about space, but if we actually went out there, we'd be like, oh, crap, we don't know anything.
That's true, but we could also say that we think we know about the ocean until you get down to the very depths of it where no man or possibly animal has ever gone before.
Sure.
With the Starship Enterprise, as you were. So anyway, I try to describe Alien as like the Jaws of space. That's where I was going with this.
Space Jaws.
Space Jaws is basically Space Jaws. And so it's like you're trapped if the ship Nostromo is Amity Island. You're trapped on the island. You're trapped in the ship. There's nowhere to go. Creature in the dark where you can't see, try to find it, try to kill it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. So that's it. Have you seen Jaws? Do you like Jaws?
I've seen Jaws. I don't like Jaws as much as you like Jaws.
I love Jaws.
Jaws is like one of your favorite movies of all time.
Top 5 movies.
People make fun
of me for loving Jaws that much.
I will not make fun of you for loving Jaws that much. It is a classic. But
it's a Steven Spielberg, people.
Yeah, man. But it didn't do it for me the same way it did it for you. But I'm very. Did you see what I emailed you today?
No.
Check your email later.
Me? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
But yeah. It was Jaws related.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, like it's not something that resonates with me the way it resonates with you. But I've seen it and I enjoy it.
Okay, so I'd be curious what you think about Alien because as we know,
it's Space Jaws.
It's Space Jaws,
right?
So which I'm more on the Jaws, but you're more on the space,
right.
So I'll be.
This might be a nice marriage of the two.
This might be a marriage, like like Star Wars or whatever. This is a nice.
Right.
We come at it for different reasons, but
we enjoy it the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it could be a good marriage of our. Like, so I'm gonna say right now, the movie's not that scary.
Yeah, I don't get scared that easily by horror movies.
Okay.
I mean, like, there's a jump scare. I'll lurch back or whatever. But like, I'm generally not like terrified. I'm like, I feel scared. I need to get out of here.
Sure. Okay.
I'm usually pretty good about that.
Well, I mean,
so
the movie's made in '79,
right?
So it's like
a whole different threshold for horror,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it's really like it's the slow burn of horror,
right?
So the movie works on a couple of different. So the basic plot is, that these blue collar workers on the ship Nostromo, they're returning to Earth, and they get a distress signal. So they go down, they go down to a planet's atmosphere and they discover alien spacecraft. And
this sounds like the beginning of a Star Trek episode.
It basically is,
or like Wrath of Khan.
Kind of. So like that's important actually. After I get back to this is before Wrath of Khan.
I understand.
So, but after I get through the plot, Wrath of Khan's 84. Yeah. Right?
82.
82.
Yeah.
So this guy Kane discovers a bunch of like alien eggs, and they bring him in the aliens, and then basically one of the crew members gets infected, and it gestates in his stomach, and it pops out of his stomach, and that's the famous scene that everybody knows.
Sure.
Right. Now that character is played by John Hurt. Okay.
Oh, sure.
And John Hurt. Spoilers for all of this.
R.I.P.
Spoilers for a movie that came out so many years ago.
Yeah. Right.
John Hurt was R.I.P. in life and in the movie. John Hurt was the biggest actor in this movie, and so
was he like the Alec Guinness of this movie, where it's like
but it would be like
name?
but it would be like if you killed Alec Guinness off on Tatooine before Luke took off.
Okay.
And everyone goes, "What?
You can't do that.
You can't do that." And so the movie slowly actually goes through its cast, like its more famous cast members, until it comes down to Ripley. And then all of a sudden you're watching like, "Oh my god, this is a movie about Ripley, the character that I thought would die first because she's like the sexy female crew member that like in a Star Trek episode or whatever would die, but it's actually a movie about like this very strong female character who outlives all the men."
Okay, so this is a very interesting, like putting in historical context of like back then you would absolutely expect that. 79, we're talking about 2 years after Star Wars.
2 years after Star Wars, 2001: A Space Odyssey,
right?
Where space is amazing and look how colorful and fun and trippy it is. And Ridley Scott was like, "Let me remind you how scary space is."
Right.
Let me remind you, you may be loving space right now because of Star Wars and Star Trek the Motionless Picture and Star Trek the TV show, and like you might be in love with space, but let me remind you how scary it can be.
Sure.
You know, it would be like watching Flipper on TV. Right. And then being like, "I love the ocean. Let's go see this movie called Jaws."
Yeah.
And be like, "Oh my god, the ocean is terrifying."
This is not the same at all.
Yeah, right. That's basically what this movie did at the time, and so it's like giving you a strong female lead at a time when there really wasn't that kind of thing, and it's giving you horror in space when that really wasn't a thing, and it's like the first to do these things. So movies that are the first to do things are sometimes not like you go back and watch them and be like, "I get why you're important, but now you're kind of dull."
Yeah,
Blade Runner to me is a perfect example of that. I get why you're important, but man, I just I have a hard time getting through you.
Okay, another film I've not seen.
Another Ridley Scott movie.
Oh, that's also Ridley Scott.
Yeah, he's really hit or miss for me. Either I'll love it or I'll not like it at all.
So Alien, you would put under the category of you love it.
I love it. I love Gladiator. I love Alien. I love The Martian. I don't really like Blade Runner. I don't really like Exodus, Gods and Monsters. I don't really like another Ridley Scott movie that I can't think of right now.
Sure.
He's really like, I love this film. What a great, amazing director you are. Or wow, garbage. Yeah, total garbage.
Interesting.
So anyway, so basically, after John Hurt dies, you basically start to try to find this. They try to find this alien that is like not a tiny little thing, maybe the size of like this beer bottle, maybe a little bit larger, and then it slowly morphs and grows and evolves over the course of the thing until Ripley's left and you got to battle the alien. It's used very sparingly. It's kind of like the shark in Jaws, where it flits in and out, and it's a blip on the screen, and then it's gone, and then it's in the dark corner, and then it's gone. And
so there's just one in this movie.
There's just only one, and so hence Alien, and then Aliens is there's a bunch of them.
Got
and
it. I gathered. Yeah.
Okay. At least you know what the plural is.
You
know what plural means. Yeah.
And I'm not upset about being spoiled because it's in the title.
It's in the title. It's nowhere close.
Movies
to
came out 35 years ago. It's all good.
Yeah, right. We're past the point in which things can be spoiled for you. And so, could you talk for a second? Because I need to sneeze.
Okay, so
I've sneezed. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm on board with this concept very much. So I'm on board with the strong female, like the whole turning the premise on its head, and like you think she's gonna just like be a throwaway character.
She's a
and just
throwaway
be the hero.
character, but she's the hero of the story.
I love that.
Plus it's Sigourney Weaver.
Right.
She's
She's
great
fantastic.
70s hair.
It's
it's so big in this movie. It's like it's bigger than the alien. It's ridiculous. It's bigger. It's possibly bigger than the ship.
So I like all these. I like the sounds of all these things.
Right. So I don't.
This sounds like so far something that I want to watch like ASAP.
Okay. So if that's the case, I actually would. I basically told you that everybody dies except for her, so that's a spoiler in of itself. But there are other twists in the film that there's like some intrigue. There's like some corporate intrigue from the Wayland Corporation, and I don't want to. If you're gonna watch it, I actually don't want to spoil it for you because it's gonna be like it's kind of like if you know the twist in Psycho, it might not be. It's not as interesting anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like because it's an older film, or if you, anything like that, or if you know like this is a good point. So like in Hamlet that everyone knows Claudius murders Hamlet's father,
yes.
Hamlet Sr. If you don't know that, if you watch Hamlet for the first time and you don't know that Claudius isn't on the level, it's not obvious in the show.
Right.
Like it's like the revelation, like when Hamlet's father's ghost comes out and says, "Thy uncle murdered me,"
right?
Or whatever the line is.
Yeah.
Then that it's much more powerful, and even then, you're still not sure if it's true because it's just Hamlet going, "Is it true? Is it not true? It's a ghost. Do I believe it? Who knows? I'm going to choose to believe it, but I'm going to act kind of crazy. So maybe Hamlet's delusional and Claudius is actually on the level." Like, there's way more intrigue to the show,
right?
If you don't know the twist. So I'm not going to tell you the rest of the stuff in Alien,
okay?
Especially since you don't know the characters. I haven't given you really their names, so it's not. You won't know where it's coming from.
Okay, I appreciate that because
yeah,
this does really sound like something. Probably more than any other Hit Me With Your Best Shot that we've done where I'm on the receiving end.
Yeah.
I want to watch this more than anything else we've talked about.
Well, it's interesting because this is a film that I think if you had actually sat down and watched it on your own at any time, you probably would have liked it.
Yeah, it sounds
it's
like
just
something
you just haven't gotten around
just
to
haven't
it.
gotten around to it, exactly.
So now that like the bug is in your brain or the alien's in your belly, it's time to,
Yeah, because
it
is one of those things that I always felt like it doesn't come up super often in pop culture, like to a certain extent, but not as often as Star Trek, Star Wars.
Sure,
most superheroes.
Well, it's a horror film,
right?
It's not a movie for everyone.
That's true, but even in geek culture, I feel like it doesn't come up as often.
I agree with that
as a reference.
It's hard to cosplay as a xenomorph.
That's for sure. Although I have seen it. I have seen a guy with a xenomorph coming out of his belly. Not in person, but like in pictures.
That's cool.
I've seen someone do it, but
it's in Spaceballs.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
See,
it's actually John.
Like
it's actually John Hurt in that movie too. They got him just for that one scene. Oh no, not again!
Not again. Yeah, like those things.
I saw that before I saw Alien. So when I finally saw Alien,
that'll be the case for me too.
I was like, oh, that joke makes much more sense.
Explains that.
Yeah.
I just never got around to it. It's not one of those, not like something like Lord of the Rings where I'm just sort of like, not for me.
Right, and there's like a thing in your brain where you're like, I know this isn't for me. I'm probably
not going to enjoy it.
Yeah. But this is a thing that you almost could be telling. You could almost be doing a Hit Me With Your Best Shot to me on this very topic, and I think this would be a thing that I would be a little bit more.
It would sound like I don't know. It's in space. It's just like pure sci-fi. Like, is it really for me? It does sound more like it would be up my alley than it is up yours. Up yours.
I mean, and it's kind of well up yours too. Well, it's the design. I mean, the production design on it is also very cool because it's all practical effects. The ship is very of its time.
I'm sure it is.
It's like Star Trek with it's like blinky lights and it's dot matrix computer. And how are you in space?
Like, how did this thing go to? Did it take place in its time period? Like, did it it's supposed to have taken place in the 70s?
No, it takes place in the future.
Okay.
Though, to be honest, I cannot remember the year.
I did pull up the Wikipedia page here because I wanted to put it in the show notes for anybody who needs the reference. So I can take a quick look here, although I'm not really seeing it popping out at me what year it is. So I don't know if
I'm not sure. I can hold on. I can do it. What?
Yeah,
year
I don't know. It says they just live and work in the future. Yeah, it doesn't really. I don't think it gives us a year. Interesting. Yeah, so okay, so it does take place in the future.
2121.
2121. Okay.
Well, according to the crew profiles, the Nostromo was scheduled to depart Thetis on June 12th, 2121, and arrive at the abandoned planetoid LV-426 on April 1st, 2122.
I'm seeing that here. So
it takes place in 2122.
Yeah. Okay, there's a whole timeline here. AVP and AVPR take place in 2004, Prometheus in 2093, Alien in 2122, and Aliens in 2179.
Oh, that's interesting. So AVP so Alien versus Predator
and Alien versus
Predator Redux, like whatever
Revenge?
it's called. I don't know. It takes place in the modern day when it's made, but Alien takes place. But the first Alien takes place. That Prometheus takes place in 2093, and Alien 2122.
Interesting.
That's crazy. You haven't seen Prometheus either, right?
No, I haven't, because I hadn't seen Alien. I didn't. I was like, well, why would I hop in like in the middle?
You know, when it's funny because some things in Prometheus don't line up with the rest of the Alien mythology, and that's part of the reason people flip about it.
Interesting.
I like Prometheus because as much as I like Alien, I'm not it's not my thing. So if you change continuity, or if you change continuity, or it doesn't exactly line up, or you're shifting dates or whatever, it doesn't really matter to me the same way. So I like Prometheus. It's got a good cast. Some things obviously are not great, but there's some things not great in every movie.
It's funny. I don't know.
I say calmly after ranting about Guardians last week.
I don't know. It's funny. I don't know what people don't like about Prometheus, and we don't have to get into it if you don't want to. But I actually don't know what the criticisms are. I just know that there's a general discontent with it from geeks, and I don't really know why. I have not heard the specific criticisms. Like I said, we don't have to get into it. If you want.
It's very minimal. So the planet that the Nostromo crew goes down to find the alien eggs and whatever else is the same planet that the Prometheus crew go down to all those years later.
Okay.
And they're looking for like the origins of the universe, like the makers of like all this aliens that first came to Earth, and like if that is a thing that happened and stuff like that. And so it kind of changes the reason why xenomorphs exist, or what they
so it retcons something in a way.
I think it retcons some things. To be honest, I'm not totally clear because I like it to I like it enough that I don't want to look into it to maybe ruin one or the others. I'm just kind of let them sit on their own terms.
Yeah,
and I'll see Alien. I heard Alien Covenant from what the reviews are saying is that it's kind of a marketing trick, where it's definitely a Prometheus sequel,
but they call it Alien.
But it's like, guess what? It's not much of an Alien movie as you thought it was, which I think is the best.
And wasn't Prometheus kind of a marketing trick where it was like, it's a Ridley Scott movie that takes place in space? And like you didn't really know it was an Alien prequel.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I feel like I remember, and this was like 5 years ago, and like I said, I never saw it, and I wasn't going to because when I heard it was an Alien prequel, I was just like, okay, I don't get it. But I seem to remember it being like we didn't know. Maybe we figured it out when the trailer came out or something. But the world sort of all at once went, oh, "This is an Alien prequel." I feel like that's what happened.
Yeah, that sounds right.
A realization. It wasn't marketed that way. It was like a realization of like, "Oh my God, you guys! Like this is obviously the same planet or something." Like
yeah. Well, that one has Michael
that.
Fassbender in it, and he plays this guy named David. And if I told you more about David, it would actually spoil Alien, so I'm not going to.
All right.
But he's the best. And the worst, but he's the best.
So just knowing that his name is David, like...
No, not at all.
Like, when I see an Alien, will I be like, oh, David, that David?
Nope. There'll be a part in Alien that you go, I wonder if that's what Tim was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I hope that you actually watch it soon, because I would like to talk to you about it. Maybe not on here, but just in friendship.
So, okay, yeah. Well, do you think that Alien Covenant... Do you think I could watch... I mean, obviously, we haven't seen Alien Covenant, but like, do we think that I could see Alien, not see Prometheus, not see any other Alien movies, and then go see Alien Covenant and be mostly okay?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
I might shoot for that.
because the Alien Covenant basically ends with, well, we didn't solve the answer to that, so maybe we'll find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything. So probably.
Okay.
Because
Interesting.
Covenant seems to follow a different crew that will blend into Prometheus.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I would say probably. So you want to talk about Alien Covenant on here is what you're saying to me?
Possibly, if timing permits and if I'm able to see it and all that,
Sure.
maybe we do a follow-up. Because
Sure.
we've never done a Hit Me With Your Best Shot where the other has
Actually
done the homework.
Right. To be honest, I've forgotten what the other things were. You did a Doctor Who one
Doctor
for me.
Who. Was Beatles Hit Me With Your Best Shot? I don't remember if it was or
No,
not.
I like the Beatles.
Twitter. Those are the ones I gave you.
I use Twitter more.
Okay, that's
Follow
good.
up.
That's good.
I use
Follow up.
Twitter more now.
All right, so maybe you have done your homework a little
Yeah.
bit. I have not seen Lord of the Rings. I don't remember what some of those you gave me were. That's the one that stands out where I have like...
Lord of the Rings is always the one that stands out.
I have
for
like...
me.
Well, that was our first one we ever did.
Yeah.
And I have like guilt hanging over me of not having watched 17 hours of movies yet. But
I know. Just keep them on in the background. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. So how about we'll resolve your guilt if you watch Alien.
I'll feel better. I'll feel absolved.
It's a much shorter movie. I assure you.
Thank
And
God.
I'm not even asking that you watch the other ones.
Oh, it's only 117 minutes. I can do that. It's less than 2 hours.
It's less than 2 hours, right? I'm not even that. And I mean, the second one's a James Cameron movie, so
Which sounds like it should be good.
most people think that Aliens is better than Alien.
Okay.
So they not that Alien is bad. People love Alien, but they love Aliens more. It's like to people, it's like one of those like you're a perfect action film.
Yeah,
it's got one of those things.
Star Wars
to
is
it.
great. Empire is amazing. Like
Yes,
that kind of like
that's
okay.
exactly
Okay.
exactly what people think.
Okay.
But like you're like New Hope. You like New Hope.
I like a New Hope better than
So that's like me and Alien and Aliens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I like Alien more. Sometimes I like 70s films. I kind of like that slow. I like that pace sometimes.
Not Blade Runner though.
Blade Runner's got a whole different kind of world to it. That's
okay.
Oh boy, what a pace that is.
Oh, all right.
I gotta watch it again. I have to give it a fair chance. Maybe I'll watch the Ultimate Extended Director's Edition Redux.
If a movie is slow, is watching the longer version really going to make that feel better?
Sure isn't.
Just not to
sure isn't.
poke holes in your theory there, but
yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't. You know what? I think I saw Blade Runner when I was maybe a little too young to get it, and so maybe that kind of it like sits with me now, where I'm like, I just don't get you.
Okay.
Yeah, but I won't quit you either.
All right. Well, Space Jaws sounds fun.
Space Jaws. Space Jaws.
Space Jaws sounds great. It sounds like a movie I want to see.
With the blinky lights and the, I mean, their technology. To be fair, when we went to space, there was no computer really.
We use slide rules and computers that are a fraction as powerful as my watches.
Right,
so
exactly. So their like processing system in the Nostromo, maybe it's not that crazy. It'll look silly.
Yeah.
But it's in some ways kind of like, it's kind of like Star Wars that way, where like you watch it in '77 and you watch like the Death Star plans and you're like, oh boy.
Oh man, stolen data tapes.
Yeah, right.
Like data tapes,
right. But I mean, like you even look at but you look at like the 3D wire of that, or the Millennium Falcon's navigate targeting system, where it's just like a triangle.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Vector graphics,
right? Exactly. But you watch Force Awakens or whatever, or Rogue One or whatever, and you're like, oh, like. If you spice up the rest of the film, it doesn't look silly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it still aesthetically works, even though it's the future.
Yeah.
Or the past or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, it should look fancier than it does, but it's still okay.
Yes.
It kind of works like that. But it's Earth people, so it's like, here's your dot matrix printer. Let's print out this thing. I'll be back in 4 hours when this page is done. Yeah. Oh. I remember printing essays. We had a dot matrix printer at home, and I remember printing out essays for like in elementary school. It'd be like you have to leave the house, go grocery shopping with mom, and come back, and you'd still have like 2 pages left.
Oh man!
Like you'd have to like so loud.
We never had a dot matrix. We went right to inkjet.
Oh,
First
did
computer
you?
we had an inkjet printer.
Well, I remember when we got the inkjet, but we weren't allowed to use it because ink was so expensive.
Right, yeah.
So only Dad could use the
Oh,
inkjet
yeah.
printer, and we still had to use the dot matrix.
I remember one time I had I had to do a report for school. We had to like make a little brochure. It was like a history class thing, and you had to like make a brochure for like a country. And the point was to prove you learned about this country, the history of the country, and everything. And I did like a double-sided thing, so it would be like a tri-fold brochure, it'd look all fancy and everything in Microsoft Word. And I printed it upside down. So like the cover was one way, and then when you opened it up, the inside was upside down. And you turned it upside down. My parents were like, "Well, ink's too expensive. We're not printing that again. So just turn it in that way. It's fine." Like I didn't lose any points or anything for that, but I was just like, "But I want to reprint it," and they were like, "Nope, ink expensive."
Wow. At least you didn't lose points.
No. I think I did fine, but
ink is too expensive. Sorry.
That's my ink is too expensive story.
That's a good story. I have a good story about Prometheus.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't think I've said on the air, possibly haven't. So my brother is a police officer.
Yes.
He's a narcotics officer. I watched Prometheus with a bag of heroin in my shoe.
What?
Because he, at the time, had a drug dog, and for the part of the training is that like the dog needs to find the drugs to eat, and he's like, "You need to warm this heroin up for me while we're in the movie, so then the dog can find it for his dinner afterwards." So I watched the whole movie with a tiny bag of heroin in my shoe.
God.
Yeah.
To be clear, folks, he's not saying that the dog ate the heroin. It's that he had to earn his dinner by finding the heroin.
By finding heroin. That's classic police dog training.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's amazing. No, I don't
I've
know
never
that
told
I know
you that story.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Someone who's listening to be like, "Oh, you said that in episode 120." Like, but I have no that's hysterical.
Yeah. I'll never it's so because I was at his house and the movie theater was right down the street. And he was like, "Just throw this in your sock."
Oh my God!
What
are you talking about?
I know. So I've held a bag of heroin. Super cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Jeez. It looks like Play-Doh.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah. Well, in the bag it does.
That's nuts.
I
That's
know.
a great story.
Isn't that a great story?
Great story to end on.
I know. I thought so.
Well, if you want more great stories, behind the scenes, outtakes, things like that, even this episode super early, which I think we will be doing, you can head on over to patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio, and you will get access to all sorts of updates and news announcements before they come out. You can be the patron of the month. You can get followed by us on social media, get bonus episodes, new shows, entire different podcasts that we'll only be posting on Patreon. You can be a co-executive producer. You can add things to the suggestion box. You can even, for some of you, you can even get a personal phone call from me and Tim. Go to patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio if you'd like to support us. Even as little as $1 helps. And if you can't even justify $1, we totally understand. Tweeting about the show, leaving an iTunes review, telling a friend to listen to the show helps us so much. So please support us in whatever way you can. If that's Patreon, great. And if it's not, that's also great. Thank you so much for all you guys do to keep these podcasts going. Yeah. Cool.
Good stuff.
Anything on iTunes for today?
Yeah, I got something on iTunes for today.
All right.
But I was texting somebody. Oh, no, I'm good now. No.
Cheating on me.
No, I'm just
trouble.
Kidding. No, what? No,
No iTunes today?
I'm sorry, I lied to you.
But yes,
I forgot
we
that.
have no iTunes
today.
Yep. We don't have no iTunes today. There we go. All right. So check us out at thoughtbubbleaudio.com, where you'll find our other shows, including Supergirl TV Talk, where we talk about the Supergirl CW show, and Marketers Next Door, where you'll hear me and my wife Marissa talking about marketing and social media. New shows coming very soon. Our patrons will get those first, but they will also be hitting thoughtbubbleaudio.com eventually. Beerwithgeeks.com, at beerwithgeeks, beerwithgeeks on Facebook, beerwithgeeks@gmail.com. Those are all the places to find us on the internet. Tim, have I left anything out?
I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think so.
Well then, until next time,
cheers.